Anti-Semitism is a very complicated and important issue, and I want to discuss it also obviously from personal reasons, because I'm from a Jewish background, and it is one of a movement that has most effect on the Jewish people, and so you can see, surprisingly, not in the way that you would think of. Anti-Semitism is obviously based on many statements. It's a package that overall it's been used by evil and for violence and hatred. But to really understand anti-Semitism, you have to break it into the statements. And the surprising and important thing, and that was very new to me as a Jewish person, there are a few statements in the anti-Semitism which is correct. And that's basically every statement in the world, but it's important in anti-Semitism that there are few elements which are correct, and most elements are incorrect and evil. But the way it affects the Jews is in a way that, as a defense, they throw away the entire package, and they don't pay attention to what is correct. And that's a big mistake, and that's caused the Jews a lot of suffering, because the reason the Jews are suffering is legally not because anti-Semitism is cruel and violence, but because there's elements within it which is correct, and the Jews are never paying attention to it in order to either correct it or pay the penalty or whatever. So, and that's important. That's something that Satan really wants to do, because he wants the Jews to get deep into trouble, into despair, because he wants to bring them a false Messiah, and he knows that the deeper they'll fall, the greater they're desperate to accept the false Messiah. And that's basically what one of the reasons anti-Semitism is. It's not to destroy the Jews physically, but it's actually to cause the Jews, to manipulate the Jews to react in a certain way that will put them in greater despair. Anti-Semitism has two major effects, which to us may appear to be in conflict, but it's actually, from a certain point of view, of the same result. And one of them is to get the Jews into greater despair and to more want the Messiah, which he will provide a false one, and also to build their confidence in the fact that they're unique. So because they're unique, obviously they have to be correct. The foundation of anti-Semitism is to the future, to cause the Jews to get to a certain situation and state of mind in the future. So when the Satan's going to provide them the false Messiah, they'll be eagerly accepting him. But the storyline of the anti-Semitism is normally about the Jews trying to control the world and take over, and the bankers. And again, some elements of it is true, and I want to talk about it, because there's as many elements that are true, there's always much more lies within it. So let's some of the facts. Not all the bankers are Jews. Actually, most bankers are not Jews, but still there's 70 or 80% of bankers which are not Jews. Also, this is the same thing about the secret societies. The secret societies, there's a number of families there, and a couple of them are Jews, and that's true. And even the Rothschild is probably the most dominant family, and they're Jews. So that part is true. But again, the Jews are not probably about only 20 or 30% of the entire secret society system. There's actually, I just kind of briefly looked at names, and I don't have the whole list, and I'm not expert about the issue, but it appears to me there's more British, there's more Protestants, there's definitely more Americans in those secret societies or among the banks. So, to say that it's a Jewish conspiracy, it's not true. It's elite conspiracy. And the elite, as much as they divide, for the Freemasons, they divide the world into, causes wars and arguments and conflicts or whatever, between races and countries and professions or whatever they think of. Among themselves, they create buddies, and they all have common interest. And within the elite of the secret societies and the bankers, the Jews and the Protestants and the Catholics and the black and the Indian and Japanese are all best friends. They let us, the people, fight each other. They don't. They want to be, they've got strong intents to work together. And that's said how they manipulate the people of the world, but that's a fact. Also, anti-Semitism is something that they manipulate. They cause it. They want, and it's surprisingly that Rothschild would like anti-Semitism when he's himself a Jewish, and is from a history that in Germany hundreds of years ago he started in a ghetto under discrimination, but still his loyalty to the Satan is even greater than his loyalty to the Jews.